Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. A couple things I want to complain about. Really, just one thing, but anyway, I hope you're doing well. This is a reading for the 2-5 Human Design Profile, the Hermit Heretic. If you don't know what your Human Design Profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your Human Design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there amongst a plethora of other information regarding your design. Now, no matter where you are in your awareness, understanding, experiment with human design, these messages aren't necessarily meant to be educational. It's meant to be an additional avenue or channel to receive a message. So I do try my best not to use a ton of human design language, just so the message doesn't get lost if you are unfamiliar. What else? Also be sure, of course, to check out your zodiac sign readings. Those are all up. What else? I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Honestly, I see it as a form of an energy exchange, and it helps me grow, and I really do hope that these messages land for you. Now, what I want to complain about is that the editing software that I used made a drastic change to their terms of service, or whatever that's called. I was using CapCut, and if you also use CapCut, I would advise you not to anymore. The only editing that I ever do to these videos is that I usually make an intro, and I make it one time so I can just put it at the beginning of every reading. Because otherwise, my brain gets confused. If I repeat myself 24 times, my brain is like, we've already said this. And I'm like, yeah, but we haven't said that in this reading. So that's just something that I'm going to have to adapt to. The other thing that I usually edit out is any silent spaces. There are times where I literally just sit here and stare at the cards, just feeling into them, asking what the message is. And I don't know, I guess I honestly just kind of assume that people don't want to just be sitting in silence either. So, there's definitely times too where my dog goes nuts because somebody's walking by and he's got to protect the manor. Or, for whatever other reason, I get up and walk away from the desk for a second or whatever, and I do try to edit those things out just to even make it a bit more polished. Maybe that's my Virgo moon. I don't know. But CapCut. So the change that they made to CapCut is that any video, any content that you upload to their platform, they have unrestricted use of, which is wild to me. That is absolutely wild, without any compensation to the creator, with no ifs, ands, fucks about it. So I'm not gonna, and here's the thing. This is solely out of solidarity, because I am not under any illusion that they would ever use any of my tarot content, because that's the only thing that I upload into CapCut. I am under no illusion that they would ever use any of my content for anything, but I just think that is fucked up. And I'm just, honestly, I'm so over these businesses, these corporations taking advantage of people, literally for their own profit. I cannot handle that. And the other thing too, if you upload a video into CapCut, and if you add music or some other type of copyrighted content to your video that you don't have the license or rights to, and say CapCut uses that content and they get flagged, you would be on the hook for that, not CapCut. So not only are they stealing people's content, but they are accepting no responsibility either. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good deal for them, but it fucking sucks for everybody else. So anyway, I also, I'm sure that there are other editing softwares out there. And if you know of one or two or whatever, let me know. There was a program that like I used to use, but it was so time consuming to do the little bit of editing that I do that I was just like, that's kind of how I found CapCut. And honestly, I just don't want to go back to that. So I'm just going to do my best to try to do every single one of these videos in one take, potentially messy as hell, or a little bit chaotic at times. And also I'm going to try to release the judgment of that because like I said, that very well could be my Virgo moon wanting perfection. And I have that in my third house, which is, communication and amongst other shit. So, I have to believe once my feet were kind of back on the ground, after learning this, which was like just 2 days ago, I have to believe that there is a purpose for it, right? I have to believe that it's only going to help my growth. It's only going to be okay with you guys, that you're going to be fine with the format, that everything is literally going to be fine. Truly, it has to be, So like I said, obviously, I'm here to read the cards for you. And I did want to present it in a way that felt put together, but it's honestly not sometimes put together. It's just spliced and it just is created to look that way, truly. So honestly, even just talking about this out loud, like I honestly wish that I could put this as an intro to all of the readings, and maybe I'll tell people to come watch the intro to your guys' reading. So I'm like, am I going to be able to repeat this? We'll find out. But anyway, like I said, it has to be for our highest good. It has to be for the highest good of the messages, for your growth, for mine. We have the 9 of Swords, it looks like. We have the Page of Cups. We have a Blowout. It's interesting that there are animals in each one of these cards. We have is that like a panther maybe, or a cheetah actually maybe, and a fox or foxes in this one. Cheetahs remind me of like stealth. Like being fast. Foxes remind me of slyness. Also, even the difference between the energies of this card. There's 9 swords pointed at this one. I keep calling it a cheetah. I'll look in the book. It's either cheetah or a panther, and I'm only saying cheetah because there's like spots on it. And then literally this person performing or, making a shadow puppet of a fox for other foxes. Like the energy of it is 2 totally different. It's like the shadow and like the literal shadow and the literal light aspects. So that's even interesting. I was hoping to kind of get like maybe one more card. Even too, the color on both of these cards, it feels like a mix between orange and red, which is, sacral chakra and base chakra. We don't take the cards. We don't take the cards that flip in the deck. I'm not going to take those because I feel like it was operator error. And I immediately heard in my head, no. But yeah, we don't take the cards that flip in the deck because we want commitment. And I don't take them seriously unless they fall all the way out. There we go. Oh, interesting. The Tower in reverse. And the King of Cups, which was one of the cards that came out that I put back in the deck. See, because that's the thing. If it really does want to come out, if it really does have a message, it'll come out. I love this depiction of the Tower card. Let me actually just make sure that all of the cards are in there, and okay, there's not some crazy glare going on. I love the colors in this card, like just the blue against the yellow, the red, the orange. Oof, I love it. Like the specific shade of those colors, love. There's a full moon back there. Is there a full moon coming up, or did we just have one? I cannot even remember. Let's see. Oh, I opened right to the, okay. A panther. Okay. We'll come back to that because I've just been, once we talk about the cards, I've been reading the message in the book as well, just to cover all bases, Of course, too, because I probably didn't mention it, I do like to explain what each card means. And then, of course, the message that is coming through to me about them. But you have your own intuition. You are the one who is living your life. So the message that you receive from your higher self, your intuition, God, source, divine, please honor that. But also at the same time, don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. That's ego. And it's fun to discern between the two. By fun, I mean, practice. So, interesting. 9 of Swords, Page of Cups, the Tower in reverse, and then the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Immediately I'm getting feelings of either being pressured, even feeling pressured to create, or resisting some sort of creativity, opportunity, even listening to your intuition. There's some sort of resistance, fear, doubt, something going on there that is maybe not as big of a deal as your brain is making it out to be. So the 9 of Swords is fear, doubt, anxiety, losing sleep at night. Swords have to do with our mind. belief systems, our mindset, our thoughts. What thoughts are we giving space to? You know, like what thoughts are we even watering with the Page of Cups here? It's intellect, knowledge, truth, and honesty too, but like logical, objective truth. Divine truth, if you will. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, and it becomes our belief system. It becomes our temperament, our personality, the reasons why we do and don't do things. So we have these 9 swords sticking up at this panther that's just like, bro, I was just like walking along this branch here, and now all of a sudden you have like invaded my space. Right? I mean, it feels like being trapped. And that could be because there are too many too many chefs in the kitchen. You know, like there's just too many thoughts going on. Too many things to consider, whether it's, you know, actual situations that are going on, or if it's like past shit that's coming up and bombarding you. Like Brene Brown calls them gremlins. And it's like it's disorienting. It is, you know, usually the stuff that creates anxiety or panic, or, you know, it's where the fear comes from, because there's some story attached that triggers fear or anxiety or resistance, hesitation in the body. Right, but it like comes from your head. But of course, you know, our heads are connected to our bodies. So whole, you know, the body keeps the score. Like, you know, there's some reaction that's happening. It really does feel like there's like a decision to be made here, too. Because they're not even reacting, they're not attacking, they're not. Let's see, the book says anxiety, guilt, depression, inner turmoil, or torment. I get same-ish, thing-ish. A panther retreats into the tree, hounded by a mob with shining blades. The Nine of Swords represents the darker moments that come at night, when we are so troubled by sadness or anxiety that sleep seems impossible. The mob's blades symbolize these troubling thoughts and the way in which they form a cage within the mind. Often it is possible, even necessary, to push these thoughts aside during the day, but at night they seem to multiply and circle endlessly. This card reminds us that pain is felt keenly in the dark, but some decisions should be slept on, for everything is clearer in the morning. You know what I actually love about this combo is that in the Page of Cups, it is nighttime. I'm assuming, because, you know, we have these string lights up here at the top. That's what it looks like to me, right? That has stars, moons, cups on them. They're inside this tent that's lit by this lantern here. It kind of looks like there's like fireflies in there, not like a flame. And they're using that to create a fox, but like all these other foxes are looking at them. So it's almost like again, the difference, like we were talking about, between like the shadow and the light side, like this is turning those thoughts into something that is proactive, or, you know, something that is helpful. It's almost turning them against themselves somehow. Ask them questions. I'm being so serious right now. Like, ask these thoughts questions. What is your purpose? What are you even doing here? What are you trying to prevent me from experiencing? Because it's more than likely we're trying to prevent you from being disappointed, from being sad, from being heartbroken, from being whatever, right? Because at some point in your past, you were those things. And something about this current situation is triggering that again. So again, right, it's like it's asking, what are you trying to prevent me from experiencing? And if I were to experience that thing again, would I survive it? Hell yeah, you would. Can you look at it from a different perspective? Can you see it from a point of experience? You have the experience already. Maybe it's a good thing to develop different coping mechanisms, different, you know, like self-soothing practices. Even, you know, the whole spiel that I was doing at like the beginning of this, it's there for you, but the way that it's showing up is what is causing anxiety. Because you better believe I had anxiety about, how am I even going to do these videos anymore if they're not going to be like perfectly done the way that I have been doing them, that I have been comfortable doing them. Like if I have to just like show up, this feels very vulnerable to me to not be able to, which I know sounds so whatever, you know, it could sound dumb, and maybe it is, but to my brain, so whatever you are going through, totally valid for whatever reason it is that you're going through. And again, you know, like I didn't even come to the conclusion about this whole CapCut thing being a benefit for me until right before I did your reading. So I think this is even perfect for you and me. So thank you. I mean, no doubt, any reading that I do ever, I always get something out of it too. Of course. I mean, truly, you could watch any video on my channel, on anybody's channel, and no doubt there would be a message in there for you, regardless of what the title, you know, I have been trying to put titles on them these days, like if I remember to, I've been trying to remember. So if there's something that sticks out to you, highly recommend watching it, because no doubt, even if it's like one sentence, which of course, you know, I mean, who knows where that one thing would be in a whole reading, but seriously, if it calls to you, watch it. But again, right, it's like, it's reframing. Cups have to do with our emotions. How are we feeling about things? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your life, your surroundings, the people in it? How do you express your emotions or even regulate your emotions? That also has to do with intuition, empathy, compassion, heart chakra. And it is a page. So it's, you know, pages are looked at as being younger, more a little immature, new energies, right? Like the pages aren't going to attach themselves to anything yet. They're just trying things. They're playing. They're using their imagination. They're, again, even like working with your intuition. How do you receive information from yourself? Creativity. And sharing that to like with others. But like I said, this feels like turning the anxiety literally on itself, almost to the point of like mocking it. I don't think that this kid is like mocking the foxes in here, right? I think it's just doing something relatable. But that's just the feeling that I'm getting, is like literally, turning the thing on itself and getting information from it. Like, how are you feeling? What feelings are being brought up within you? The book says emotion, embracing life, fresh outlook, creativity. I love that. A youth entertains a group of foxes with dazzling shadow puppets. The Page of Cups is the most childlike of the pages. This card encourages emotion and creativity to bloom and encourages you to embrace life. Take full advantage of the little things and see the world through fresh eyes. Embrace and nurture your feelings in order to set free your inner child. I love that. And like I said at the beginning, right? Like if you are feeling pressure to create, or if you are like resisting some sort of pressure to create, or maybe to like just the feeling that you have is that a great release or outlet would be something creative. Do that. Give yourself that. It's like honoring your inner child. And then we have the Tower in the reverse. The book says it is not the situation around you that is calamitous, so much as it is your response. When the Tower is reversed, it is informing you that you are the core of your stresses, bro. Your perception of what is happening is hyperbolized. Thank you. And causing you great anxiety. Take care not to become a vortex of negativity, for it will likely affect those around you. Upright, the keywords are calamity, upheaval, survival, endurance. So yeah, truly it's like one of those situations of like changing your mind, changing your life type of thing, which it sounds easier said than done, but it is possible. You'll likely have to continue to do it, because especially too, like if you've been here for a little bit, you like have to constantly, because you had to constantly reinforce this whole thought process. So you're going to have to constantly reinforce this too. It'll change. Not only will like that change, but then your perspective, your feelings about the situation, whatever that is for you, will also likely change too. Or a resolution will be presented, a solution will be found, like whatever it is. I love that we have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Kings are the highest expression of the suit, and we go from the page to the king. intellect, mastery of emotion, logic, solutions. See? Right? Like I just said, a solution will be found. The king shows himself as a stag as he meditates over a large vessel. The King of Cups is a master of emotion and intellect, which is funny because we have emotion here with the Page of Cups and we have intellect here with the Nine of Swords. The king is emotionally invested in each situation, showing love and empathy, all while maintaining the knowledge and logic needed to deal with any given situation. Echo the king. Whilst experiencing difficulty, it is in your best interest to remain calm and take necessary steps. Find the solution while considering the emotional well-being of those around you. Yeah. This almost kind of feels like a distraction here, too. Or even like a magician. What do they do? Like what is the whole thing with magicians? Oh, it has something to do with like diverting your focus or whatever. Like, but I feel like there's a term for that I cannot think of. It's like saying, look over here while this hand is doing something else. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have the tools, you have the experience, you have the emotional capacity, you have literally everything that you need for this situation. It's just that it's activated or triggered something in you. And there's a lot of information to even be found in that. We have the Six of Swords behind that, which is movement forward. It is a change in your mindset. That's making a conscious decision to move away from this and onto, bigger and better things to be putting your mental energy towards. I love that. Or even to just, having the like making the mental decision to face whatever it is, to move towards it instead of either away from it or just resisting it altogether. Perfect. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. And we'll see how the rest of any video ever goes. Okay, thank you. Bye.